You're listening to the 28th edition of the Bitachon podcast. And we continue with the question of the Shalish, the officer, who says, will Hashem indeed do amazing things for me? And we saw that we asked this question. So often we ask this very question. But we also saw that there's a certain result from asking this question. Now, is that something that we ourselves experience? Says the Alter Navardik, that the reality is, don't think that we don't have a similar experience. If a person lacks bitachon, if a person doesn't believe that they're going to be able to get the miracles, so then indeed, the result will be similar to that which occurred to the shalish. It's not going to be as extreme. It's not going to be like the person is trampled to death. But there is an aspect that we all might experience of seeing with our eyes and not being able to benefit from it ourselves. Because every person thinks about his friend. And the guy who I'm thinking about is also thinking about his friend. Nobody ever seems to get to that which they desire. I want what he has. He wants what the next guy has. This is the curse of the officer. A person sees what somebody else has, but the person never gets what the other person has. The person is missing that which he desires. This is common in any person who thinks that the other guy got to that which he desires. I haven't gotten to what I want. And the other person also thinks, the person who I'm jealous of, he also is thinking of somebody else who he's jealous of and hasn't reached that level. Yeah. And that is the situation which we find ourselves in at this time. Now there's a difference because, as we said, the officer, he died and he wasn't able to enjoy or benefit from the miracle that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is bringing. For us, it's just our imagination. We think that somebody else has. The truth is that each person thinks that about the next guy. In other words, we think that the other person has. At least with the officer, so he saw that they had and they had. They did indeed. We think the next guy has and he doesn't even have because he's always thinking about the next person. And it comes out that the false imagination takes away a person's satisfaction. I think I'm going to get something better and I can't enjoy what I have. And the person doesn't attain what they really could attain or recognize that they have attained what they need. Each person only has half of what they want. If a person would give over himself to the decree of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, a person would realize nobody can take away a mustard seed, not even a drop. Exactly what I have is exactly what I'm supposed to have. If a person would realize that, a person would recognize that, so then we would be in a good place. Then a person would be so joyous with what he has. A person wouldn't need any more. A person wouldn't think that they want to have more. A person doesn't want something that they can't attain. Right? A person is only jealous of people who are in his stratosphere or in his status in the same location. Like a person might be jealous of someone else who is his next door neighbor who has a Lexus. But he's not jealous per se of the guy with the Ferrari because he doesn't see himself as being a Ferrari guy, having that much money, whatever it is. I'm saying a person doesn't find himself to be jealous of somebody in a completely different place. So a person doesn't desire things that are out of his league. If a person realizes that's what he's saying. If a person realizes that he has exactly what he needs, that every single thing that he has is nigzer min hashamayim, is decreed from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then he'll be happy. And now that he thinks, here's the problem, says the Alter Navardik. A person thinks, how did he get that? How did he get the attainment that he got? It's because he did this and this and this. He did certain actions, right? That's why magazines are filled with people who are successful and what they did and what can we do, right? But because the person thinks that it's the efforts that I've done, it's the ishtadlus that brought about the success. We don't recognize that the true dimension of success is brought about only because HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave the person success. Maybe Hashem put that idea in his head. But we could imitate that person all we want. But if we're not meant to have that money, it's not going to come. I see that somebody else has succeeded because he did X, Y, Z. So if I do those efforts, I'm also going to succeed. That's how the person thinks. V'nimsa. It comes out. Ki yasega klala. Such a person will receive this curse. Ki be'enov yireh ki chaver yeshla. He's going to see that somebody else has. He's going to see, look, that guy got what he wanted. He put in X, Y, Z efforts. He got what he wanted. I didn't get what I want. I did the same thing. It didn't work. He doesn't have it. As we said, the next person also thinks that about the next person. Nobody's going to get what they want. Each person thinks that I'm not as good as the next person. Now this also relates to a person's spiritual situation. A person will ask, will Hashem create windows from the heavens? This means person doesn't want to give over. He doesn't want to give all of his efforts into learning Torah, into working on midos, working on his character traits. We find that previous generations, we know classically, were on a higher level than us, right? We say, you read this Hadairos, the generations go down. But the Alter Navardik, one of his things that he was always careful about, one of the things that he always pushed, was that we shouldn't think that we can't reach those previous generations. We might not be able to get to the levels that they got to, but we still have to strive for greatness, to strive to be on a high level. Who knows? Maybe we can. Right? So the previous generations, they stood and they were careful about very fine things. They were so dedicated, so committed to Lishma, to doing things with a pure motive, for the right reasons. Anything that they would detect would take away from that even a little bit. They would make sure not to do it. The author says we shouldn't just suffice ourselves with the things that are, the things that people do today. This is considered tzidkus, this is considered righteousness now. Some fine things, certain fine things that in previous generations they considered to be important. We need to also consider those things. We need to think about it. We need to aim high. Person needs to say, when will my actions reach the level of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? I'm supposed to strive for greatness, to be great as previous generations. Because in order to stand, to be able to maintain this high level, a person needs to give up all of the imaginary things, all the things that I believe are important, all of the olam hazeh, all of the success, all of the honor, all of the money, all the things that I think are real. In order to get somewhere in life, I got to give those things up. I'm not going to get anywhere without that. And the way that a person needs to go is with this message, the idea that it's better to be considered a fool in the eyes of others. I got to do what's right. One of the things that they worked on in Avarik, which was a very famous thing, they would walk into a hardware store and ask for a loaf of bread. They'd walk into a bakery and ask for a box of nails. And the idea was, why did they do that? They didn't do it to look like fools. They did it in order to be able to work on the midah, to be kind of the midah, to acquire the ability to stand up and do what's right, even when everyone around is going to make fun. Even if people are going to say something negative or going to think things that are negative, I need to be able to stand up and do what's right. So they would practice this idea. And the way that they would practice the idea was, indeed, by working on themselves, stepping out of their comfort zone, stepping out of the place which they felt comfortable with. And by doing so, by getting involved at that level and having the willingness to be staunch, to do what's right. So that's how they developed in their Bitachon. That's how they developed in their Avodas Hashem. That's how they reached their high levels. And they felt, they knew through their Bitachon that HaKadosh Baruch Hu would help them. He has helped them, and He will always help them, both in their spiritual acquisitions as well as in their physical acquisitions. Thank you so much for listening.